Well, hello everybody out there and welcome to another random video. So this video is going to be like a little review, or I don't know how I should say. I just want to tell you about my experiences with something. I know I'm a little bit late to this party because this device has been out for quite a while. I'm talking about the HIMEDIA Q30 Android TV box, or you could also call it Mediaplayer. And I know there's already a few review videos about it on YouTube, but I just want to talk about some things that those people didn't mention, things that might be interesting for some of you. Now, first of all, as you can already tell, if we look at the box already looks different compared to the other ones in those other videos. Now it does look definitely more higher quality, or whatever you should say. It has a nice picture on it. It's kind of glossy as well. So definitely a little bit better. I don't know if it's because I have the European version and they had the American version. So yeah, as we can tell, it has 4K, 10-bit, it has 60 frames per second. It can also support HEVC videos, so that's H265. The standard has been H264 for a long time. So yeah, that's the new one, but it's not so new. I believe it came out somewhere in 2013. And HDMI, Kodi, you name it. So not only the box is different, but also apparently the content is different. So the stuff that you get inside the box is different. I mean, like in all the other videos, of course, you also get the device itself, the media player front with on-off switch. You have two USB 2 ports. Now I don't know why they decided to put them on the opposite side. So one sits right here, the other one right here. I don't know why they didn't put those two USB 2 ports next to each other, because here we have one USB 2 port and one USB 3 port. And on the other side we have another USB 2 port. Kind of weird. We also have a slot for SD cards, and on the back we have the Wi-Fi antenna, optical line out, RCA output, HDMI, and LAN for your internet. And of course, this is where the power goes. So it's the same device, as you can tell. And we also get the power adapter, as well as this flat HDMI cable and this remote control. But for some reason, I also got this little USB Bluetooth adapter for some reason, and this little Bluetooth remote control that you can use the same way you would use the Wiimote on your Nintendo Wii. So you move the remote control in order to move an arrow on the screen. So yeah, I don't know if this is really standard to the European version, or if the person that I bought it from just included it just like that. I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, those are the things that you get. And also you get a little booklet, a little manual, but it doesn't really help that much. So now that we talked about the box and the content, let's talk about some of the, let's say, quirks that I experienced with this device, and I want to talk about some of those things. So this is what the home screen looks like, and first of all, I want to tell you why I even got this device, because as of right now I'm really only using it to watch movies from my hard drive. And some people might think, well, why didn't you just use your television as a media player? Well, first of all, my television doesn't support DTS. It doesn't support H.265 videos. It doesn't support my 4 terabyte hard drive. And even if it would, it doesn't support XFAT. Now, some people might think, why are you using XFAT instead of NTFS? Well, because I'm using a Mac, and Mac can't write on NTFS hard drives. So I have to use XFAT. And this is also something that I found quite important and something that you can't really find anywhere, but I managed to find some infos about it. So yes, this media player supports 4 terabyte hard drives. I think it supports maybe even 6 terabyte, but I'm not sure. And yes, it does support XFAT, which might be interesting for some Mac users. So what about some of the quirks that I mentioned earlier? Well, as you can see, the time right now is 8 or 2 minutes past 8, which isn't correct. And usually if you have this thing connected to your internet, it would synchronize the time. So it would get the time from the internet, and this way it would always be correct. But as of right now, I haven't connected the media player to the internet because I don't really need any of those applications as of right now. So there is, of course, a way to set the time manually. If you go to settings and we go down here, date and time. So here we can set date and time. So yeah, you can set the date and the time manually, but for some reason, whenever I do that and I turn the device off, and by off I mean standby, because the LED on the front is still glowing, and I turn it back on again, the time is reset to this standard time, January 1st, 2015, 8 o'clock in the morning. So for some reason it doesn't hold the time, and I don't know why that is. Maybe a firmware upgrade or update would fix this problem. I haven't performed an upgrade as of right now, but yeah, you know, like they say, don't change a running system. But that was already the first quirk that I experienced, that it doesn't use the time. Then another thing, if we go to was it display? So here you can adjust the screen size and everything so that the little arrows are visible. But on some televisions you don't even need that, because there is also a function that is called Overscan or something like this. So wait a second. Yeah, it's called Overscan, but because I've already adjusted the screen correctly, Overscan is now a little bit smaller than it's actually supposed to be. So yeah, that's why I'm using auto. But in case you don't have this auto screen or this overscan function on your television, here you can adjust the screen size. And if we go to playback, we also have the TV aspect ratio, and we can also say it should maintain the aspect ratio or it should go full screen. Keep ratio or full screen. right? But if we watch a video that isn't full screen, you know, like the entire screen, which in this case would be 16:9, you can see it's not really full screen. But if I push the menu button right now, another menu pops open, and here I can go to play setting and screen size, and here we can also select between original ratio and full screen. And if I select full screen, you can see now it is really full screen. It's now really the entire screen. So my guess is that those two options kind of cancel each other out somehow, but yeah, it is very inconvenient. Also, we don't have any fast forward and rewind buttons. We can only skip to the next chapter and stuff like that. But if we push and hold the menu button, no, not the menu button, the arrow button, you can see that it just flies through the entire video, which is very stupid if you are looking for a particular scene. But if we push OK, then we are down here, and here we can select if we want to skip or just fast forward, and then we have to push OK to select that, and then we can go fast forward, and we can go 2 times the speed, 3 times, no, 2 times, 4 times, 8 times, you know, the typical thing. But yeah, it is kind of really inconvenient, to be honest. Yeah. As you may or may not know, if you are using an external hard drive, for example, one where you can turn on and off, or if you are like me and you use a docking station that you can turn on and off, it is very important to safe eject your hard drive before actually turning it off. And it worked very well on my iMac. So let me just show you what exactly happens when I safe eject the hard drive on my iMac. So now what happens if we want to safe eject the hard drive with the media box? So apparently, as you can tell, there's no real option here. Nothing that I can see here. Maybe settings. Let's go to more. And down here, storage. And as you can tell, here we have the hard drive, and here we also have this little eject symbol on the right hand side. But first of all, it is pretty darn inconvenient that I have to scroll through all those different menus to get to the point where I can safe eject this hard drive. But as you can tell, I can't really select the eject button. If I push OK, it just goes to a different menu, to a different screen. But I can't select this button. First, I have to push the mouse button on my remote control. This doesn't even work right now. Why doesn't it work right now? It used to work. It activated this little mouse arrow. Oh, this is weird. It doesn't activate. Oh, now here we are. Don't know why it didn't happen the first time. So now I can use the arrow buttons to move this thing. And now I can finally select and safe eject the hard drive. But I have to say, you can do it a lot easier, because if you are inside the media center and you have the USB device selected, you just have to push the menu button on your remote control, and this also opens this menu asking you if you want to save eject the device. But how should you know that? I mean, you know, it didn't say anything about it in the manual, I guess, but yeah. But the problem is, if I safely eject this hard drive, it doesn't really do anything other than this device disappearing from the menus, but it doesn't really turn off the hard drive. The hard drive is still spinning and the little light on the docking station is still on. So this isn't really a safe eject in my opinion. I mean, compared to what the iMac does, this is definitely not good for the mechanics of the hard drive. So yeah, that's also another thing that I find kind of weird. So last but not least, let's talk about another weird thing. Let's talk about Bluetooth. Now, if we go to more, you can see Bluetooth is disabled. When Bluetooth is turned on, your device can communicate with other nearby Bluetooth devices. So as we can tell, it is now turned off. So let's just turn it on and go back. For some reason, it still says that Bluetooth is disabled. And if I enter the menu again, for some reason it is turned off again. Why is it turned off? I just turned it on. What exactly is going on here? So let's see if my Bluetooth remote control works. Oh look, the Bluetooth remote control works even though Bluetooth is turned off. What the heck is going on here? Seriously. And I tested it. I wanted to see if I really need this Bluetooth adapter. Maybe this device has some kind of a built-in Bluetooth, but it doesn't work. So yeah, why can I use a Bluetooth device when Bluetooth is turned off? And why is it even turned off even though I turned it on? On, disabled. So yeah, like I said, I don't know if some of these problems have been solved or are going to be solved if you do an update, firmware update or something like this. But as of right now, it is kind of weird and maybe a little bit buggy, but like I said, I don't want to do a firmware upgrade right now because it plays my movies, it does what it's supposed to do, it does what I got it for, basically. So yeah, that's why I didn't bother doing anything. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you about some of these quirks that I've experienced. Maybe some of you have other experiences. Share them in the comments or make your own video about it. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know about those things. So I hope you found this video interesting and informative. And thanks for watching, and I see you in the next random video. Bye.